Your backyard garden and your local farmers markets are just overflowing with all kinds of local produce, summer greats, you know, and Chef Brandi is back in the Charlie Wilson KitchenAid kitchen with some recipes for using all that produce. And we are shifting gears now to all those cucumbers that you have.
Tons of cucumbers right now. Everyone has cucumbers. And what's great about these small garden cucumbers is the seeds are really tiny. You know, you don't have to de-seed them. So what we're going to do today is we're going to make some spicy dill pickles. People don't realize how easy it is to make your own pickles at home. It only takes a few minutes.
They think it's a whole like canning process, and they're thinking, oh, that sounds just terribly intimidating.
And these do not have to be canned.
Oh, tell us more.
So we're going to take our pickles, and honestly, you can cut them into halves like this. You can cut them into chips. We're going to cut them into spears today.
Okay.
So I'm just quartering these cucumbers. I've done that with a lot of these over here.
Okay.
These are going to go in our jar, but we're going to get our pickling liquid started first.
Liquid.
Super simple. All we're going to put in this is a cup of vinegar.
Okay.
This is just white distilled vinegar. We're going to add the same amount of water.
Okay.
We've got some black peppercorns here. We're going to put whole peppercorns in.
Into the water.
Into the water.
Okay. Normally you think I got to put it into the jar.
No, we're going to put it into the water so that heat will start releasing some of that. We're going to do about a tablespoon of sugar. I've had people ask me, these are not going to be sweet. These are going to be dill pickles. If you leave that sugar out, it's going to be a little bitter from the sharpness of the vinegar. So it's just a little bit of sugar to knock that bitterness off. There will not be any sweetness to these pickles.
Okay.
So while our liquid's getting started, we're going to take a mason jar. You can use a pint or a quart. Ours were just a little bit too tall for a quart. And into here, we're going to put 3 cloves of garlic. We're going to put a good handful of some baby dill down in there. And we're going to start shoving our cucumbers in. You want this to be not packed so tight there's not enough room for everything else, but pretty close together.
Okay. And you had what? How many cucumbers that you sliced up
there? There are 5 of these little cucumbers in this jar.
Okay. That you want to try to fit into it once you
and
slice them up.
I think we're going to get most of them in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going to get all those in there.
Okay.
And all we're going to do now is wait for our pickling liquid to get done. If you want, we can jump over here and come back to our pickles while this is cooking.
Absolutely.
Just give this a little stir. And all we want is for that sugar to dissolve and the liquid to just heat up. We just want it to be, you know, pretty hot.
Do you want it to bring it to a boil? Do you need to get that far?
We just need to bring it to a little simmer. It doesn't even have to be boiled, but as soon as you start seeing little bubbles, then it's fine. But if it does boil, you haven't messed anything up.
Okay, good. All right. Fruits.
It is also stone fruit season.
Yes.
It's my favorite kind of fruits. These include nectarines, peaches, plums, cherries, you know, anything with a stone pit in it. And you know, usually we think sweet with these, and I love cooking them in savory dishes.
Yeah.
For instance, I do an apricot bourbon barbecue sauce. Apricots taste great with barbecue. Today we're going to do a prosciutto wrapped stone fruit.
Okay.
Super simple. So on my plate here, I've got some prosciutto that I've just cut in half down the line into strips.
Okay, there we
Just
see that.
straight down this way.
And sometimes they come already in some smaller strips.
Prosciutto's kind of hard to mess with and cut.
Yeah.
But if your pieces do break, you can kind of just smush them back together.
Okay.
I've got some dill Havarti here. I've got some sharp white cheddar, and I've got some fresh basil leaves. You can use a garlic herb cheese. You can use a brie. You know, have fun, play around with it. We're going to start with our nectarines here. My nectarines are my favorite ones to use because you get that peachy flavor, and you know, you can still eat the skin. You don't have to worry about the peach fuzz.
And so many people got their peaches this year from the peach truck, and they have like crates and crates of it, and they don't know what to do with it.
Yes, what do I do with all these peaches?
What do I do?
So we're going to take our peach wedge.
Okay.
We're going to take a little bitty sprig of basil. If you don't like basil, try mint. If you don't like either, you can use a little bit of arugula. We're going to take our basil, stick on the end, set a little piece of cheese right on our basil. Oh, see, piece of prosciutto's already falling apart.
Here we go.
And we're just going to take and wrap that right around our fruit.
Great for entertaining for the summer, Brandi. I really like this, right?
And then we've got, to make it even better, we've got a golden balsamic and honey reduction. This is just golden balsamic vinegar and honey reduced down to make a thick syrup.
Look at that.
Just gives you a little sweet, tangy drizzle right on top. We can do the same thing with our plums. I've got a beautiful red plum here. I think plums pair well with the dill Havarti.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, how are you deciding what to like pair what with?
Well, we definitely don't want to put the basil
No.
in with this cheese because we're going to have basil and dill together. They don't really
They
complement
don't
each
get
other.
along.
So we're going to use that red plum with the Havarti. The plums are a little bit less sweet, so they go well with that Havarti, but the sauce goes great on all of them. So, you know, you can play around. You can have some black plums. You can have some white peaches. Play around with your colors. Play around with the toppings that you put inside. You can even shave a little bit of raw rhubarb and put a slice of that in there
That
for
would
a
be great.
crunch.
Yes. All
Yeah,
right,
would you
there
like
you
to
go.
try
And
one?
what all did you have in here?
All this is golden balsamic vinegar and honey that I've reduced down. That recipe is available as well if you want to check out my Instagram.
Really simple little
I just
thing.
reduce it down into a syrup. It's absolutely delicious.
Love it. All right. I think our water.
Our
Let's
water's
check
ready.
our water. I'll watch the food.
So our water is ready. It had a little bit of bubbles. The sugar's melted. That's all we care about. We're not going to strain it or anything. We want those peppercorns to go straight into the jar.
Okay.
We don't have a funnel with us, but it'll be okay. We're going to pour that liquid right over the top. You want to just cover the pickles. And watch this. We're going to put a lid on and we're done.
That's it.
That's it.
And then do you need to like let this like flip it upside down or?
No, we are going to let
let
this
it-
cool to room temperature. I usually let them set overnight and then pop them in the fridge. I usually tell people 1 to 2 weeks, and I get so many comments that this full video is there too, and they're like, no, they're going to be soggy because you didn't put alum in them. I have some that I made 8 weeks ago. My son loves pickles, and he's still eating on them right now. They're still crunchy,
Still
right
crunchy.
now. The thing I just tell people is to make sure you have a firm cucumber, and if it has tons of seeds, de-seed it. Take those seeds
Okay.
out because that's what's going to make it mushy.
The seeds make it mushy.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we're switching places. All these videos are on your Instagram page on Reels, right?
Yes,
Right
these are
now.
all available. The
Right.
enchilada sauce will be there in the morning.
Watch where she enjoys everything that she eats, everything that you make. I love how you do your
Yes,
dance at
there's
the
also
end.
with the cucumbers.
The
I did a
cucumbers.
Kentucky Benedictine sandwich
Saw that.
about a week ago. That's a
So
great
good.
use of your cucumbers as
That
well.
is a good one for the summer. All right, we're finding ways to use up that produce. For more information, just head over to southern-flair.com and check out all those recipes at chef.brandi on Instagram and TikTok. Great seeing you again. Thank you so much. Love these ideas.